I'd like to welcome from London Dr. Marcos Papadopoulos, the expert in international relations and also specialized in Middle East affairs. Hello, sir. So, Dr. Marcus, considering this important statement, speaking about the percentage announced by the American envoy Steve Witkoff that Iran has 460 kilograms of the enriched uranium, which is about 60%, and it's possible that this enriched uranium can be quickly transformed into a weapon. Do you think that this statement came amid hyperbole and increasing the risk of Iran in the American eyes?
Well, first of all, no significance should be attached to any words spoken by either the American president or members of his administration. Trump and the rest of his administration have demonstrated that they are not only liars, but they are pathological liars. The reasons for them having gone to war with Iran have changed on a daily basis. Now we hear that Iran has so much uranium, enriched uranium, that it could be close to developing nuclear weapons. Well, that is not the opinion of United Nations inspectors. That is not the opinion on experts who have visited nuclear facilities in Iran. So this is just another pretext by the American government to justify its war with Iran and to continue its war with Iran. But let us just remember that the Iranian people have been attacked. Iran did not start this war. Iran has been attacked and Iran is fighting back. So let us not have any acceptance of inversion. America and Israel started this war and Iran is defending itself.
I hope you can stay with me. Dr. Marcus would like to give a brief for this breaking news coming from the cited from the occupation forces, specifically giving this early urgent arming for 7 places in southern Lebanon to have quickly evacuations. More evacuation orders for 7 regions in southern Lebanon to be immediately evacuated. This is an escalation after this repetitive targeting for regions in southern Lebanon. And back to you, Dr. Marcos. Dr. Marcos, this escalation continues. Whatever it was against Iran or even against Beirut, do you think it's very early to speak right now about ending this war?
I believe that the war will end sooner rather than later. I believe the Americans and the Israelis not only seriously miscalculated Iranian military capabilities and Iranian resolve, but they have also overstretched themselves. So Israel has invaded Lebanon. And again, let us be clear about that. Israel has invaded an independent sovereign country. Western media outlets such as BBC News and Sky News are referring to Israel's invasion of Lebanon as, quote, an incursion or as, quote, a military maneuver. No, it is an invasion. So the Israelis are now essentially fighting on 2 fronts. They are fighting a war with Iran and they are fighting a war with Hezbollah. The Israeli economy cannot afford 2 wars simultaneously in the long term. The American economy is also in serious trouble. The Americans are starting to run short not only of munitions, but also of oil. And as a result of Iran having closed the Strait of Hormuz, it means that the price of energy is going to skyrocket in the world. Now, that is going to have very serious consequences for America, for Europe, and for Britain. So, again, is this war going to last indefinitely? I do not believe that. The Iranians are holding their ground. Yes, the Americans and the Israelis have inflicted very severe damage on Iran, but in turn, the Iranians have inflicted very severe damage on Israel and on American military bases in the region. And we should also be mindful that the Israeli government has implemented a almost total media censorship on reporting what is happening inside of Israel, which goes to demonstrate how much of Israel has been severely damaged or even destroyed by this war. So the Americans and the Israelis have overstretched themselves, and they cannot afford this war in economic terms and in military terms for that much longer.
Maybe right now we have seen the Chinese foreign ministry speaking about the call for all individuals for self-restraint, and they are conducting calls with different parties to maintain the end of this war, securing a deal. Do you think that the United States of America willing to interact with any kind of initiatives like that?
I believe that as we talk now, the Americans, through intermediaries, are sending messages to the Iranian government in an attempt to bring the war to an end. But for the Iranian government, because they hold the advantage in this war, and because they have been deceived time and time again by the Americans, the Iranian government will be very hesitant, to say the least, about entering into negotiations with the Americans, because for the Iranians, it's a matter of this. Tomorrow they could sign a truce with the Americans, and then 6 months from now, or a year from now, the Americans and the Israelis start another war with Iran. So the Iranians are also in a very delicate situation. On the one hand, they hold the advantage in this war. But on the other hand, Iran is incurring very considerable damage. Many Iranian civilians have died. And at the same time, can they trust a word that comes out of Washington? So really, the Americans and the Israelis are in a very delicate situation, but the Iranian government is also in a very delicate situation, but for other reasons.